Good evening. Welcome
Sandman.
to the Pyle Show. How are you guys? Sorry, we're trying some new things out. So welcome to the show. This is our second. Henry Sandman,
Likewise,
real
brother.
good to see you
Likewise.
again, dude. How has your week been? I
Yeah.
haven't talked to you since. I talked to you earlier today, but for our guests, how's it been
Grinding,
for
a lot
the
of
past
work.
week?
Thank God, being blessed with it. So can't complain about that. So just been busy, 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 and
That's
just
good.
happy to be a Friday. Can't end the week better than what we have right now, right? I mean, I'm about to interview one of my Marines here and a fellow co-host. So you can't ask for better than that. So, but other than that, I can't complain, brother. How about yours?
That's awesome. No, it was good. I worked out once on Monday, and I did a piece when I used to do this all the time. For 6 years, I was a rower, and I did this 5,000 meter piece on the erg, and it just killed me. I haven't been in the gym in like since Monday. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But you spark a little shit in me. I'm actually now I can
Yeah, man. I
get going
mean,
with my life. Okay, because we're here
good to
today.
go, brother.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's gonna be like the it's gonna be very makeshift for the next couple of episodes until I can get this shit down. But I just want to say thank you, man. Having this podcast is great. I think it's going to be a big eye opener for people. And I know we've got a nice guest coming on next week. He was in Ramadi, Austin Manis with Ready First, and he's going to be talking about the Ramadi reunion, our 20-year reunion, fighting in the most horrible place. Time Magazine said it was the most dangerous city in the world, and it was. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to tonight. But I want to thank a couple sponsors. We got a new one today. Semper Suds out of Wisconsin, made by Shea Lesage and Timothy Lesage. Timothy is a shit. He is now like he's almost a congressman. He's a sergeant at arms for the Wisconsin Congress, and he was a Marine. He is a Marine, and I think he got out as a master sergeant. And his wife
Mm.
Shea is making soap, and they call it Semper Suds, and it's awesome. They sent me 2 batches. It's amazing. Um, and the wife, Shea, she was a puddle pirate for like 20 years. So she was Coast Guard. And this is her baby. And they've been selling soap like crazy. And I just want to thank them for being part of this show. I want to thank Devil Dog Brew out of Colorado. They're working some deals. They have a website coming up very soon. It will be live and active. And I want to thank Devil Dog Brew because it's a great cup of coffee, and they're doing
Well,
a lot of
brother,
stuff to help out
I'm
veterans.
I'm glad you
So
brought that up because I got two sponsors for us. I got two sponsors for us.
you got two as
Uh,
well?
First one,
Yes.
it's a local veteran-owned company here in Charlotte. They do residential and commercial painting and drywall. J&H Custom Painting and Drywall.
Nice.
Shout out to them. Yeah, shout out to them. They
Thank you
they heard
guys.
us on Spotify this week. I actually share our first interview with them earlier today. the the feedback was awesome. They loved
What did they
it.
think?
They literally told me that
Really?
they
Mm.
listened to our podcast, our episode for the entire time they were going home. So from work to home, they were listening to the interview, and they were like, they said they were so intrigued that they didn't even feel the drive back home. So shout out to J
Oh,
and
that's
H
awesome.
Custom Painting and Drywall. Thank you for being part of this project. We want to thank you, and I hope you guys stick with us. So thank you again. For anyone that's listening to us out there, just
That's amazing.
if you live in Charlotte, give them a shout, or us. We'll put you in contact through them. I know the owners very well. Once again, thank you, J&H Custom Painting and Drywall. Thank you so much. The second company is again a locally owned cleaning service company, ONC Cleaning. You know, very nice lady.
Nice.
Love what she
Thank you
does.
guys.
Locally owned. I think she's been in business for many years, going to 10, 15 years or something like that in the Charlotte metro area. Again, you need something done, let us know and we can put you in contact with her. But both companies willing to help out the cause and be ready for us. So shout out to both of those companies, man. All ONC Cleaning,
Dude,
J&H
that's awesome.
Paint and Drywall. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Oh man, that just,
Yeah,
dude,
I got
that just
excited,
makes me
man.
really happy. I'm so
Like
glad.
literally, they
I'm
called
so
us.
glad you
Like I
started with
shared it
that.
with them, and the feedback was awesome. They just want to be part of it. They obviously they can't be too involved in a way because they got their own stuff going on. But anything we need,
No, no, of
it's
course,
like,
yeah.
yeah, let us know, guys, please. So they're gonna be doing some donations. We'll get into that later down the road. But again, two sponsors in a matter
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
day just by sharing a Spotify link so they can listen to us. It's amazing, man. I mean, it's a great Friday.
Dude, dude, that is awesome. I mean, you got two, I got
Yeah, man.
two. I mean, the sky's
So
the limit right
awesome.
here, which is great. I guess you have to take it away because I got to shut up and let you talk and then ask me questions. So, because I
Yes,
guess
sir.
you're
So,
interviewing me today,
we're
right?
gonna get right in it. We're gonna get right in it.
Take it away.
For everyone that's listening to us today, thank you again. It's our second episode on a journey that me and my good buddy here embark, and I hope everyone takes advantage of this. Andrew, as you learned from the previous episode, if you listen, if you didn't, I'm gonna give you a little history on Andrew. Young Marine that I met 20 plus years ago. Yeah, yeah,
Boot.
came in
Yep.
into the
I was a
unit.
I was a boot to him.
Young Marine, young kid. In our eyes, not by age, he was older than me. To be honest with you. So, but again, that's just the way it is in the Marine Corps. Seeing him grow as a Marine and me being part of his leadership, it's what this is all about. We discuss friendship, life after the Marine Corps, all of that. And we're going to get into all of that in tonight's episode. But Andrew, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself,
Okay.
and a brief history of what intrigued you and how you end up becoming a Marine, that you are.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sandman. Thank you, Henry. Like I said, like he said, I've known Henry for 20 years, and I don't know, whatever. You know what? I'll just go with me. My name is Richard Andrew Farr. Born in Nashville, Tennessee, raised in Exeter, New Hampshire. High school in Massachusetts, college in Florida. I worked for after I graduated. I worked for a paint company, Pintura in the Espanol, in Naples, Florida, where I had to actually learn Spanish. Tres
That's very
galones de
good.
pintura, por favor. Yeah, we had a lot
J
of
and H J and H
contractors
might be
that
looking
were,
for one. You'll fit
uh,
right in.
dude, we had one guy, he was Cuban. Well, no, he was Mexican, but we called his first name was Ruben. And so we always called him Ruben the Cuban. But he was Mexican. He was this big guy, big mustache. I mean, he was darker than you. Great guy. He always came in for the mist tints. He always came in for paint. He always had like 5 or 6 jobs, high rises, houses, repaints, whatever. I did that for about 3 years after college, and then I got the bug. I was mixing 80 gallons of paint in the back of our Sherwin Williams on Tamiami Trail in Naples, and Howard Stern was was on, and it was September 11th. I was mixing all this paint, and I heard Howard Stern on the radio that these planes had hit the tower. I was like, that can't be real. This has got to be a joke because it's Howard Stern. I mean, you can't really take him seriously. I get home, uh that was uh, that was all true, and it happened. And I was watching the TV and I was watching the bodies and I was watching the destruction and I was like, holy shit. And so that in my mind, I was like, okay, it's time for me to go enlist. And I tried, actually. I tried in 2001. My parents at the time, and I was a very dutiful son back then. I mean, I still am to a degree. But back then they said, no, you're not going. And I can't even remember how old I was. I think it was, shit, 21, 22, something like that. 20, 23. Yeah, I was 23 years old and they wouldn't let me go because they're like, just wait, try to go be an officer. And what they were saying was like, okay, well, that sounds okay. Sure, I'll do that. 3 years go by and it's 2004 and I'm like, nope, it's my time to go. And so I took a lunch break from work, went over to the recruiting office in Naples, Florida, and Pine Ridge Road, RSS Murfreesboro, RSS Naples, and I signed up that day. I was in the depth for, let's see, it took about a month for them to get my transcripts because my degree, which is right on the wall over here, is written in Latin. And the recruiters could not read it. They did not believe
Oh
that it was
boy.
a real degree. So I had to go up with a recruiter to my college in Orlando to get my transcripts because they could not read my degree. We came back 2 weeks later. I was in the dep. I was in the depper. I was a depper for 2 weeks, and then June 20th, 2004, I I I got off that bus, went on those yellow footprints, and 13 weeks of hell. Ensued after that. A 30-second phone call to my dad, which, by the way, was the last time I ever talked to my dad on this earthly plane. Because my dad, second month in boot camp, what's the second month in boot camp, Henry?
Well, it all depends. I mean, for the most part, it's rifle range, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
Okay, yeah. Okay,
it
that's
just
the
depends.
answer I was
Yeah,
looking
okay,
for. Yeah.
cool.
I was on the range and my dad
Wow.
had committed suicide. He took his own life. And I came back into the duty hut, the senior drill. The senior wanted to talk to me. Knock on the hatch 3 times. This is recruit FAR, request permission to speak to the senior drill instructor, staff sergeant, whatever his name was. I can't even remember. And he's like, come in. And so I go into the room, and who do I see there? I see staff sergeant. I see another sergeant on my kill hat. And then in the corner, I see a chaplain. The first the first 2 words out of my mouth were like, holy shit. And then in my mind, I was like, okay, who died? What happened? And so the chaplain lays it on me. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your father, he passed away. And I was like, what? And the senior was like, yeah, we want you to call your mom. This is a Red Cross message here. Please call your mom as soon as possible. And so I did. I called my mom. And I was,
Right.
I mean, when you're second month of boot camp, you're already like a zombie. You're already with it. You're already like naming off commands, naming off general orders, attention to orders all the time. So as soon as I hear my mom's voice, I start crying because she's crying, making me cry. And so they sent me home, went to my dad's funeral, came back, graduated boot camp. Um, and that was my first veteran suicide because my dad was a Navy officer in 69 to 71. So it was my first dealings with veteran suicide in 2004. Now, I did not really think about it after I came back from the funeral. Didn't really think about it because I was so ingrained in the Marine Corps. I let it go to the back of my head. I compartmentalized it back in my head. And we went to SOI. I was Delta Company, SOI, Camp Geiger. That was October to December, December 17th, 2004. We graduated. So it was me,
Yep.
Joe Baker, who you know, Wayne Woods, um,
Yep. Braddock.
Evan Braddock, and there were probably like maybe 6 or 7 of us that came to 38 to India Company. Um, and then we got there December 17th, just a little short bus ride right up the road because I don't know what, did you get a
I
wish
didn't
list when you were in boot
because
camp
yeah, I
of
did
where you
because I
wanted
think
to
it
go?
was protocol for them to do that. But in all honesty, I didn't even fill it out because I didn't I knew where I was going. It's either was going to be the West Coast or the East Coast. Hawaii and all these other duty stations that were up for grabs were like the moon to me because I was an designated 0311 MOS. So I kind of knew, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't wish any, I didn't fill out any.
I picked
Yeah,
Hawaii, Japan, Camp
no,
Lejeune. Did not get Hawaii, did not
oh,
get
most
Japan,
definitely.
and I got Camp Lejeune. And yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I was like, we got off the bus and we're like, shit, we're at Camp Lejeune, HP 155, and we go into the COC and we get designated with a roommate. I had Scythe, and that was horrible. And we were there for about a week, and then we went home for leave because we were getting ready to go to Iraq, and we went to I think it was January 5th or 6th that we got on the bus, go to Cherry Point, and then we fly this big 747 with our guns on the plane. So it is you can have guns on a
Yep.
plane, only if you're in the military though. And then we were then we were in Iraq, and then we were at Camp Fallujah, and we did that first deployment. I was an 0331 machine gunner. Uh, that was great because I got to fire the big guns, the Mark 19, the 240, and the 50 cal, and I was good at that. I was. Now the dis and ass of the Mark and the 50 were a little bit longer than the 240, but I don't know. It was kind of the 50 cal has like 12 parts to the bolt itself.
I just
I
shot
mean, did you know
with a
that?
50 cal, man.
It
The-
crazy, dude. No,
there's a
seriously,
reason why I became
it's
so
got
afraid
12 parts
landing
to
that
the bolt.
machine
And
gunner.
well, no, that's I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, the
exactly.
03s, you guys get the AT4s, you get the M72s, you get the M67s. You get like you get
And when
the
we have to hum
basic
22
infantry stuff,
miles,
which is
we don't
awesome.
have to carry.
You don't have to hump shit. Dude, okay, SOI, here's a story, guys. I remember that last hike we did at SOI. It's like
Yep.
is it
The
15
very last
15
before
it's 15K,
graduation.
right?
I don't know, Delta was weak, so we didn't I don't know how you guys did that, but I know us Predators, Bravo Company, ours was a 20K. So I don't know what you guys. Oh yeah, dude.
You did a 20K? Yeah, we did a 3, a
Yeah, we did
5,
it. Our last
a
hump
10 and a
before
15.
graduation was a 20K. Staff Sergeant Fish, who at that time was the company gunny, and yeah, and Sergeant a
Fish.
skinny white guy, yeah,
Skinny white guy? Dude, he
yeah,
went over. Whoa, wait a minute. I know that name because he
really,
was mine over in
yeah,
Delta
skinny.
Company.
He had
Skinny white
crazy
guy,
high
right?
tie, black hair. Yep, he was
Yeah,
kind of like
crazy. Yeah.
my skin tone, maybe a little lighter,
Oh my God.
but yeah, he was my company gunny. Sergeant Loa was my yes,
Yeah, yeah. He was. Holy shit.
yeah, dude,
That's crazy.
that dude
How?
was no
Because I
joke, man.
remember that. Once you said it, I was like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
that guy was no joke, man. So yeah, we did 20.
He did not
We
like
did
me
a
very much.
20K for pre-graduation. So I mean, we knew what a 20K was before we even got to the fleet. So, but I don't think that was
We
on
did.
the
Yeah, we did.
scheme of graduation. I think it was 15K was you cut off, like kind of like you did.
No, and you guys
Yeah.
were above and beyond. So and that's fine. And we did a 15K, and the last 5 miles, the last 3 miles, sorry, three
Uh,
miles, I had to carry the 240 on my back with my, yeah, it sucked. Dude, when I took off my boots, like, they weren't like
yes,
torn up,
that
they were like
dude, that is
lava. It was
to
like jello.
me is the most demoralizing thing in the world. Anytime, even when we were out on the fleet, right? I
Horrible.
never understood what was the point of a hump. And for the viewers and listeners that are listening to this, when we say hump, we it's I know it sounds crazy, but it's kind of like it's not. It's I
It's
think the
sexual, but it's
right
not.
terminology for it it's force march. Is that what they call it? So basically, you just load up
It's a
everything
forced
you
march.
own for no reason at all. Just pack it on your back, and you're on your back. Put that on your back, and just go to town for 22 miles in whichever
Yeah.
direction your superiors take you. And I tell you, you guys, the machine gunners,
Yeah.
oh my God, it was the most. Oh my God, it was the
And
most
the Moorman?
demoralizing
Oh
thing
yeah.
to see whenever we used to pass you guys and you just humped over literally on a 90-degree with the freaking
Yeah.
50
No,
like I
totally,
think
man.
one of you guys carry the 50 cal barrel, the other one carries the body, the other one carries the tripod. It's just
The tripod
insanity.
and
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what are we doing? I never understood that. I never understood why
Yeah.
weapons
I mean,
platoon or
with the
weapons company will do such a thing.
and we,
That is
and then the
insane.
mortarmen, they had
Yeah.
the base plates, and then they had the main guns. I mean, it was crazy, and but I loved it. I did. I loved boot camp, even though my father died. I still loved it. I loved SOI, and I even loved getting. I loved getting to the unit that we both served in, because 3/8 India Company, 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines is by far the. I'm sorry, I'm biased, and I know you're biased too, but we are a group of. That's all we are. We're a bunch of warriors. We didn't care about ROEs. We didn't care about saluting, fucking shaving our faces, wearing the uniform right. All we cared about
Yeah.
were
I
missions
think
and
I
getting
think
it
a lot
done
of that has
over in
to
the
come from
sand
the leadership
because,
that we had at that time, man. Because in all honesty, you don't develop. A lot of people think that you can develop a warrior into a warrior, but no. It's all about the leadership because if you, I mean, I'm gonna use a kind of like a bad word here, but if you have a pussy as a leader, you're gonna turn into the same way, and that's exactly how you're
you're
gonna
going to
lead
turn
when
into a
it's your
pussy.
time to lead. So we had,
Dude, our
yeah, we didn't have any of
seniors
that.
were
So
salty.
I can see where you're coming from, but brother, such a great story, and thank you for sharing it with me, the viewers, and the listeners. But I would like to ask you a question. How was that
Yeah,
transition from being in boot camp, being in there for almost, roughly about 5 weeks? You get into the second phase where were you already at the phase where they took the sneakers away and you were wearing boots? Okay, so for people that don't
yeah.
not
We were wearing
blouse, but you
boots.
were wearing them, right?
Not
So
bloused,
for
but
people
yeah.
that don't know,
Yeah.
you have to earn everything. So that's what makes the Marine Corps such a different entity from anybody else. So when you first get
Yep.
into boot camp,
Agreed.
you have to wear sneakers with your utility
Go
uniform,
fasters.
right? And the
Yep.
stupid crow belt that you wrap around
Yep.
the glove belt, yeah,
And
yeah, right.
the glow
And
belt, like
they
going
make
this
you
way.
look
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
Buddhist recruit ever, right? And then they shave your head. They barely shave your head. Yeah, right. Yeah. So when
They
you
shave your head.
finally
Yeah.
go through that phase and you put your boots on and you don't get to blouse them just yet, you just put them on. It's like a big deal, right? So for you, yeah. So for you,
Yeah. It
how
was
how do you,
huge.
how was that for you? That transition of going home and kind of detaching your mind and body from everything you've done for 5 or 6 weeks. Obviously, dealing with the death of your loved one, seeing the civilian world again, which unless something like this happens, you will never see that, right? You the only time you see that is if you drop out
No, you never.
immediately,
Yeah,
right? Right. So how
yeah,
was that for you?
yeah.
How did you take that moment whenever you knew that you had to pack your sea bag and hop on a bus or whatever, and then go to your home, see the civilian world again, bury your dad, and then come back to your
And
platoon?
then come back. Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. My kill hat, Sergeant Levy, who is now a sergeant
Okay.
major in the Marine Corps. He's still in. I actually saw him. I saw him at a Paris Island graduation, and he had, three up, four down, star in the middle with his name tag. And I saw him. I'm like, Levy, and I'm shouting in front of officers, in front of like civilians, everybody. And I'm like, Levy. And I go and I
Right.
hug him because that's how much he meant to me because of the story I'm about to tell you. But um, Sergeant Levy was my kill hat. And when this happened, my first sergeant, the company first sergeant Knox, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, Far, you're," and I'm like locked up like this, and I'm like, "Good morning, good morning, sir," because I couldn't call him by his rank yet. And he's like, "Far, you're going home. Navy assistance is getting your ticket home. So here's Sergeant Levy. He's going to take you to Savannah Airport." I was like, "Good to go." So I'm walking, behind the drill instructor. I get in the car, and as we're leaving the base, leaving Paris Island, he starts talking to me like a normal person. Like he's not yelling at me, he's not screaming. He's like, "Hey man, hey Far, I'm real sorry about what happened." And I was in shock. Like I was in shock at
Right.
that because I thought he was like a monster and a horrible person. And turns out he is sweet as pie. He took me to the airport, got on the plane. I'm in my Charlies, so I'm the first guy in platoon 2081 to wear the Charlies. So I had I had the National Defense Ribbon. I hadn't qualified on. I was at the rifle range, but I hadn't qualified, so I didn't get my rifle badge yet. So I just had the Firewatch ribbon and my brown shirt, green pants, cunt cap, uh, the hot dog hat, and went home. And I, was there with my mom. I was still acting like I was still at Paris Island. I wasn't smiling. I was very rigid. My mom was so worried, she even took me to a psychiatrist. And I'm like left hand, left knee, right hand, right knee, back straight, eyes front, talking to this psychiatrist. And he was like, "What's wrong with you?" And my mom's like, "Well, he's in the middle of boot camp right now." And the psychiatrist was like, "Oh, you can leave right now." And I went back to the hotel. I actually, and this is going to be a funny story. So if this is like a PG-13 story, so if you got kids, don't let them listen to this. But I went to the hotel room, and I know in boot camp you are not allowed to do anything because of the saltpeter
Yeah.
in the eggs.
Yes.
Remember that, Henry? I went straight to the bathroom when I got to my hotel room because I
Oh my
hadn't done
God.
that in about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I know, a Marine, right? That's all we're thinking. That's all we're thinking about. And so I got, and I went to the funeral. It was very nice. I didn't go. I didn't see my dad got buried in Sewanee, Tennessee, and then flew back home. And my dad he's buried in the cemetery up in Sewanee. It's about an hour south of me. So I actually went by his grave the other day just to say hi. My brother's buried there. My grandfather's buried there. My father's buried there. Um, and then I've got a plot there, but I don't know if I'm going to get buried there because probably going to get buried with my wife. But I was thinking, I wasn't thinking, I wasn't depressed at the time. I was sad, but I was more in tune to getting the hell off of Paris Island. So I was like, okay, get me back. Let me graduate with my guys because I made a lot of friends. I did. We started with like 90 guys in platoon 2081, and we graduated probably about 60, maybe 65. And I befriended a lot of those guys, and I felt, and this is a crazy thing, I felt bad about leaving them, and about not being able to finish with those guys, because a lot of those guys, they leaned on me because I was the chaplain. I said the prayer every single night, or pretty much every single night, before we went to bed. And a lot of those guys, they confided in me. I still talk to probably about three or four guys that I went to boot camp with. And I mean, Tank,
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
them, he was Scout Sniper Platoon. Lima, Ryan Wheeler, he was not my bunk mate, but he was in the rack next to me in Paris Island. And what you guys at home need to understand is that you form some pretty serious bonds there, um, at SOI. And then when you get to the fleet, you form, and we touched on this last week, you form some very,
I,
very
I
serious
agree. Yeah,
bonds
that
with these
it's
guys.
for the
Like,
normal person. It's tough to understand that because, dude, you
it
do
is. It
everything.
is.
In your case, um, it sounds like you were able to transition because your mind never left Paris Island. You were,
My mind, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I didn't
you
answer the
were
question. Yes, my
still
mind really didn't
very
live. I
much
mean, it.
in still in boot camp mode, and to me, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure all the viewers and listeners out there can agree, but that had to be probably one of the toughest things to endure, to be able to separate the bookend mode and give yourself that little bit of slot in which you have to sympathize with the fact that you lost your father, right? So, and that
yeah,
when it comes to
yeah.
that, I can only imagine what what you had to do when just getting back on the plane, right? Okay, I'm done with the funeral. I'm uh, I'm 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 done with the funeral. What do we do now? Do I need to go ahead and say my dad just passed away? What do I do? Do I stay here and grieve, or do I move on and become a Marine? That brother to me
I
has
moved.
to be one of the. I mean, we all been to combat, we all been through, but man, dude, that has to be one
It
of the
was.
tough experience for you. It's like welcome to the Marine Corps. You just graduated with one of the probably toughest mental challenges that anybody can go through, and I commend you for that. I didn't know about that, but thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. No, no, yeah. And and I told that story to, like, when I got to 3-8, like I told my guys, like my squad leaders and stuff like that, and at the time, they didn't, they're
No,
sorry,
yeah,
but like, hey, we got a mission. We can't really think about that, and that's what happened. Like, even when I got off the plane to get back into Sergeant Levy's car because he picked me up, the same guy, same drill instructor, picked me up, and he was talking to me like a normal person on the ride to Paris Island. And then when we stopped the car, he's like, Far, I sympathize with you, but when we leave these doors, when we get out, it's back to Marine Corps mode. I'm like, back to drill instructor mode. I'm like, good to go, Sergeant. And I call him Sergeant. And as soon as I open that door,
wow,
boom, I was just like, bam, back in mode. And then now I will tell you this, and the viewers this, did not I did not qualify the first time on the range because that passing of my father kind of like
right,
it did fuck with my head just a little bit. So um, I unked. I had to go to another range, and the second or third, I don't know, it was like the second or third time. And I finally, when I got it, I scored like a 225. I like the last time I did it, I was on
yeah,
Starlight, And remember Starlight? Starlight? Yeah. I did Evo, I did Starlight, and I did another one. But Starlight, I shot like a 225. But because I had gotten, 2 times at bat, they gave me a pizza box. So when I arrived to 3.8, I was, national defense pizza box. Um, and that's okay. That was fine with me. I didn't really yell or scream, or I didn't really care about that. I was happy to be out of Paris Island. I was happy to be at SOI. I was happy to have gone to 3.8, and then 3.8.
Well,
It was,
yeah.
and this. It was back to back deployment. Now you did 4 deployments. I did 3. I did Iraq '05 with you, and then Iraq Ramadi, and then 22nd Mu, back to back to back. Like
But
oh
that's how it
05, oh
was. I
6,
mean,
oh
that's what
07. It was
we
like,
touched on that last week.
yeah,
For our generation,
we did, yeah,
everything went so fast because it was nonstop training, deployment. And if most of us would have stayed in,
deployment.
that's all we would have done probably for the first 10 years of our careers. And that's why most of us were just
Yeah,
washed out. Like third battalion 8th Marines were the battalion that, remember those level briefs that we used to get when we used to get back? They were like hour-long briefs because they were so terrified of the
yeah,
things that we would do outside the base, because they knew that all we do is just train and go to combat, train and go to combat. It was insane. So I can only imagine
no,
what
you're right.
your mindset. I mean, shit, you go from boot camp to losing your father to going to Iraq, and then with the uncertainty in your mind, am I going to make it in Iraq? Because at that point we know, right? We know that we going into a place that it's either kill or be killed, right?
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I should have died actually at least 2 or 3 times in 2005. I should have. I mean, I was a dumbass. I'm going to call myself a dumbass boot, because I was. I That first deployment was a initiation by fire. I I'd only seen war in movies. I had never experienced it. Um, I mean, I had maybe once or twice shot a gun in my life before I even got to boot camp. I was not. I mean, yeah, I was prepared, but I was not prepared mentally. I don't think I was prepared for that first deployment, because I mean, you know this story, and I'm gonna tell it to our viewers, and it's a story that 3.8 guys, you guys know it. Um, I remember getting shot at for the first time. It was February. It was middle of February. I think it was Valentine's Day, maybe. But we were on a second platoon. I can't remember what squad, second and first squad, maybe. We were on a patrol, and we were, going down Michigan, or whatever it was. 5 meter spread. Every 3 steps, take a look behind, see if the guy's behind you, and then we get contact front and contact left on this patrol, and we're like, oh shit. So I was like, oh my god, we're getting mortared from the front, we're getting AK-47 from the side, and I'm like, shit, what do I do? And so I was like, everyone else is like scattering to like a
Right, right.
safe place, to like behind, like this berm that they saw. I didn't even like, I had like blinders on. Like I was looking here and here. I wasn't doing, my essay was horrible. I didn't know where, I didn't, as soon as a crack, as soon as that happened, I was like, oh shit. And I froze. I had the saw because I was a machine gunner. So on post, I would be a machine gunner. On patrol, I would be the saw gunner. So I had the M249, and I'm like, I'm stopped in the dead of the road. Like I am like deer in headlights. I'm like, shit, what do I do? What do I do? Like my training from like SOI and from Paris Island, totally out the window, gone. And I look at this telephone pole that's right next to me, or it's like, I don't know, 25 feet away from me. And I'm like, well, shit, I better get cover. And so I run to the telephone pole and I get there and I make myself as small as humanly possible. And I'm like 192 pounds with shit on. And the only thing that's sticking out is my ass. I'm kind of hidden, but my ass is sticking out, and maybe like a little bit of my like day pack is sticking out, and I'm hearing like far, far, where get over here, and I'm looking around, and the bullets are going by, and the mortars coming, and explosions, and I finally look around, and I see my squad leader, Jeff Stockton, and the rest of my platoon. They are over behind a berm on the other side of the road, behind this big pile of dirt and concrete and these concrete blocks. And I can see Stockton, and he did. He said that. He yelled, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh crap, I did it again. Went over there, and that was it. And then we started returning fire, and then it after like an hour it ended, and we then we went home after that, because as soon as you get contact and you deal with the problem, you go back. Well, that was terrible because I was tired, I was sleepy, and that we went home, we rested, and then that night we had another patrol to do. Well, on that patrol, Paul Casey, my squad leader, we are going to this school because we heard there was some
Yep.
some trouble over there. You remember that, right? We went to this school, and so we go up and we clear the building, and Casey, God rest his soul, my squad leader, I mean, the guy saved my life a couple of times, but this time he got really mad at me because he had to go. He had to leave the room. We were in like a classroom, and we were taking a pause. We were taking a rest, and so Paul was like, "Hey, you stay in here, stay awake." I was like, "All right, good to go, Corporal." And I'm sitting down. That was my first mistake, sitting down. And I sat down, and I think I fell asleep with my eyes open. I swear to God, because like there were like 5 minutes. I remember this because there was like maybe 5 minutes where I didn't hear a sound, and I didn't even like really see anything. But I'm in the classroom, my eyes are open, but I'm like this. I'm like a zombie. And then Casey comes in and he's like, "Far." I'm like, "What? What's going on?" I was like, "What? What's going on?" He's like, "We're leaving." And I'm like, "Okay." And so we leave. So we go downstairs, we walk away for a little bit, and then Casey is like, "Hey, do you got the pass 13?" And I'm like, "What?" The pass 13. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, that big black thing that I gave you to hold on to." I'm like, uh,
Oh
"No,
God.
Corporal, I don't." And so we had to go back and get the pass 13 that I left on the desk that I was sitting at. And so, okay, so obviously this was not good. And so I get back to Camp Delta, and Fishbach is there, and Bashard is there, and Lieutenant Javes is there, Pat Bagley is there, like all these guys like that, um, Mike Ryan, you remember Mike, and all these guys were sitting in one room, and they're like, and I think this is a big moment for these guys because they're fucking pissed at me, and they're like, they give me the riot act. They're like, you're 26, you're 27 years old, and I got Pat Bagley over here who's got more discipline in his body than you do. And I'm just taking it all in. Stockton is there, and I'm like, Kenny Opry is there, and I'm like, damn, I really fucked up. They're like, well, and then Lieutenant Javes comes over to me like, well, we're transferring you over to headquarters platoon, like with the mortarmen and I'm like, all right, good to go, sir. That's whatever. I mean, and you're gonna do convoys, and you're gonna do convoys. We
Yeah,
did like 1,000 convoys
you're
in
gonna
like
bring
2 months
food to all
or
the
maybe a month. I don't
OPs
even
in the
know.
in the area. Yeah. Yeah. You know,
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
you
did that.
know,
And but
you know
we
how last week we
yeah.
spoke about leadership. What I mean, and
Yeah.
I know every single name that you mentioned.
Yeah, I know
I'm
you do.
telling you, man. I was probably 21 at that time, at that period of time.
Yeah.
Right.
With a big
And
stack like
some of
this.
those names that you mentioned were senior to probably all of us. They were probably the only ones that had, I would say,
Yeah.
the balls to write it out and extend, because those guys were ESing and they chose to extend in order to make
Yeah.
their 4 years worthy, right? But what did they do?
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. They took the easy route instead of teaching a Marine how to become a
They
true
sent me away.
Marine and taking you under their wing. They chose the easy way out. Oh, let me just join the bandwagon and let's just bash fucking PFC or Lance Corporal 4. You know,
No, I was a yeah, that's the yeah. I was a PFC twice
so
and a Lance
let's
Corporal
just
twice during that
bash
time.
him, and in the middle of a combat zone, let's just bash him, fuck with his head, and then
Yeah.
send him to headquarters platoon so he can go fucking ride a Humvee. You know what I did? You know what I did with my guy when he did
Yeah.
that? My guy, I had a similar story, but it was an OP too. Heard of this? That was my first medal that I received from Gunny Ball. It's when we got a motor round came right into the building in the middle of the night and just cranked the whole
Yes.
OP
Yep.
with ether. It just filled in with ether, you know.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
that's when we
Yes. I
lost
totally
Schmidt.
remember that.
That's when a lot of Marines that were sleeping inside their sleeping bags got hurt, were suffocated, got hurt. You know, my
Yeah.
guys, I knew there was something going on. And I was like, you know what, something's not right. But my squad was doing we were on post at that particular time. So you know what I did? I was like, you know what, guys, let's just get everybody out of post whenever we're done. And instead of going to sleep, I want you guys to gear up and we're going out for a patrol. When we did that, it was crazy, man. It was like 3 minutes after we were on the road, we were on stagger formation down Chicago, and the building blew up. And all my Marines that were under me were hating life. I mean, think about it. They just came off an 8-hour post. The first thing you want to do is get into your sleeping bag and go to
Yeah.
sleep, right?
That sucks.
But I was like,
Guys, it
no,
sucks. It really
gear
sucks.
the F up, and we're going out on the patrol. The same guys that boot you out to headquarters platoon are the same guys who were inside that building. And you know what they were doing? They were fucking sleeping. And the bizarre
Yeah.
thing is that a lot of those guys got those titles of squad leaders, team leaders, and all that because of their age group. One of them was like a
Not for
big
what they
shot
were doing,
baseball
just for
player
their
or
age.
some
Yeah.
shit. So he became a squad. Yeah, yeah, right, yeah,
And we know who
yeah.
that one is, and I'm
So
not gonna.
it's
I've
like, so
already
you want
said
to be a
his name, but
squad
I'm not
leader
gonna say
because
it again.
you got a degree and you play professional baseball for like a week. Okay, see you in Iraq. The other ones, same deal, right? Oh, you didn't do anything with your career, so
Yeah.
no choice but to make you a senior lance corporal and lead Marines to nothing.
Yeah. Which is funny because I just saw that meme that you were talking about last week about the senior Lance Corporal. I just saw that on Facebook again, and
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, oh shit, we just talked about that.
that makes me
No.
upset that knowing everything that you mentally had endured between boot camp, SOI, and then right from SOI you go to Iraq, and yeah, you got a brain fart in between, but that's expected because you are a junior
I did.
Marine.
Yeah. I'm a boot.
You're
I'm a
expected
junior
to
Marine.
fuck up. Unfortunately for you, your fuck ups could cost you your life, right?
Well, 3 times
Well,
actually. I
I mean, it
fucked up
doesn't
like
matter, but
yeah,
that's why the leadership it has to be what it is, because without the leadership,
you
you're
know,
not gonna do
yeah.
nothing.
But it's funny that you mentioned that because when I did go to headquarters, I
But
did.
who?
That's
But you
where I
had
did
Corporal
get the leadership.
Diaz,
I
Gunny
learned
Ball. You had
more.
all these senior guys that just took you under their wing and said, "Listen, you now I'm gonna make you a Marine."
Sergeant
Exactly.
Modesto, Sergeant Santiago, those guys. Yeah, those guys were great. Sergeant Diaz, not a huge fan
But
of him, but
but he
he
was
was a good
solid. I
Marine
mean, dude,
and he was hard.
the whole stack of leadership you had
He was
to
solid. Yes,
look up to on headquarters platoon. I mean, in all honesty, they did you a favor,
Gunny. Yeah,
because
yeah, and Gunny Ball. Gunny Ball is great. Captain Liston. I mean, even Captain. Even I was on radio. I was on the radio. I was on. Yeah, I was on the radio. And Captain Liston comes in and he starts going off about. He starts asking me questions about the machine gun stuff, and we're like talking history,
nah,
and like he is
El
like the coolest guy.
Capitan
Like, because I was a
Liston.
history major, and I was a class.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
he was my
Capitan
man,
Liston.
man. I love
He's
that dude,
talking. He
man.
was a
That dude,
dude. He's
dude. I
awesome.
wish I can
I
run,
love him to death.
just spend 5 more minutes with him and just thank him. That the
Yeah, me
first
too.
thing I did when I got out of the bus, when we got back to him and shook his
Mm,
hand, and for me it was so unfortunate because that was the last time I saw him. He moved to a different company, and at that time he got promoted
yeah, he
and did
did.
his thing. But then I saw him on social media one day, and he was Colonel Liston. I was like, yes.
Colonel Liston.
I
He was
was like, dude, that's my
second
man, man. I
LAR.
mean, that dude,
Yeah,
that dude made 3A India Company who he became. I mean, that dude was 3A.
yeah,
I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. I mean,
yep.
the way he led,
No,
the
no,
way
no.
I
I,
mean,
dude, I totally agree.
he took all the nonsense out of the way in that company, man. It was like the perfect fit. First Sergeant
He did.
Guzman, Capitan Leston,
Yeah,
um, Gunny Ball, and then you had,
Gunny
I think
Ball.
Gunny Danghart was like a second, you know. I mean, I mean,
It's really funny because you're like the second person that I talk. Wait, did I talk to you?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I talked to you about Gunny Dagenhart earlier today. That's why. Shit.
Dude,
Yeah, and that yeah, and
that group
all
of,
these guys. I mean, Gunny
man, I know
Dagenhart. I
this is
never
your
really
interview,
worked with
brother,
him. I
but
just saw
this
him.
is what I mean. Like, we can talk about this for hours and hours because it's such
I
a
know. I
joyful
know.
thing to do when you remember, dude.
It's
Like,
a joyful and dude, I already feel better
when you remember
about
these
my
guys, dude,
predicament
it's
already.
like, I don't know if you I don't think he was part of your platoon, but I had the honor to be under his leadership and became a corporal under him, Sergeant Greenlaw. So Sergeant Greenlaw, yeah, Sergeant Greenlaw is like a
You had him.
freaking.
Yeah.
He's like one of those guys that you will never forget when you were under him. I never forget. He said, "You never want to be a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps because the best rank in the Marine Corps is sergeant, and that's what I want to be all my life." Dude, that dude
Boy.
was when I was under him, he had 12 years in the Marine Corps. And he did everything in his power to never be promoted to staff sergeant until he had no choice but to become staff sergeant Greenlawn. Not Greenlawn, I'm sorry. Oh my God, he's gonna fucking
That's
hate
totally
the shit
different
out of me.
from
Staff Sergeant Walgren. Yes, yes,
Walgren.
yeah.
Yes. Okay,
You're
that's who I
listening,
thought you were
Staff
talking
Sergeant.
about.
You got every right to hate me, but dude,
No, yeah, Walgren. Dude, he's got a this motivational speech
that's
that
the
he gave to
speeches that we used to get before we step
yeah.
off anywhere. People think that stuff. It's just like, oh, this dude's crazy. I'm telling you, man, what that did to your mind. This guy will make up speeches out of anything. His favorite speech was a
Yeah.
10 Tavern. what's the oldest guys in the oldest guy in the Marine Corps? Um, Archibald Henderson. Dude, I'm telling you,
Archibald
like
Henderson.
his speeches were just insanity. He became the last rank I saw him do was Gunny Walgren. Dude, the dude's a legend,
Jesus,
man. I'm telling you that. Dude, the leadership we had in that company was second to none, man.
it was
I
good.
mean,
No, second, no. It was no, and I agree with you. We had some great leaders. I mean,
enlisted, yes.
enlisted leadership. Officer now, Captain Liston, yes, he was great, but obviously our
Well,
battalion commander needed
that's on
some
a
work.
higher level that we don't really,
Uh,
like once you get, yeah,
that's
once you
on
get
yeah,
into
it's on a
once you get
it's
into
above
the
our pay grades. We
regimental
can't talk
level,
about that stuff.
I mean, we don't even know those people. Those people you shoot orders, right?
I mean, you, my friend. I know it's my interview, and I just got to give you props because you were under Lieutenant Colonel Berger.
Oh no,
Like
that
I was maybe for like a week, and then he went to Eighth Marine Regiment. But you
man, yep,
actually
yeah,
had him
dude,
as a battalion commander, and then that guy turned into
dude. That's
the
you want to
commandant
hear a
of the
crazy
fucking
story?
Marine Corps.
I used to hang out with his son. His son was a bartender at Heroes. Yeah, yes.
No, no way.
So when later in my career, whenever I was about to kind of ES, instead of sitting around doing stupid shit in the barracks, I got a job as a catering employee at Heroes for weddings, social events. Dead ass, man. It's on
Shut
base. It
up.
was cash. It was a good gig. That's how I met his son, and we became good friends. And one day, I just happens to go to his house, and he's just chilling there in his office, and I'm like, I'm
And
looking at it, I'm like, holy shit, that's the dude in the picture,
yeah,
in the front of the base.
I
You
know.
know?
Yeah, dude.
Oh
You
yes,
remember this guy,
Chaplain Bradshaw. Yeah.
Chaplain Bradshaw? All right. So when he retired a couple years ago, look who the guest one of the guests is.
Opening remark.
Opening remarks. Commandant Berger, dude, that motherfucker got 7 bells, and like he just walked down like at the retirement ceremony on the red carpet, and it was like ding, 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 like it just kept on dinging
Yeah, that dude
because
was
he's the
well. That dude
four-star
was
general.
amazing.
It
I'm
was so
telling you,
cool.
man. It was just an era that it's hard to explain, brother. I mean, you're thankful. I'm thankful that we were lucky enough to be around people like that because unfortunately, as much as we hate to say it, everything has changed. The generation of Marine, yeah, the
Yeah,
generation of
it's
not
all
to
it's
take
all
away
it's all
from
it's
them because
different.
the Marine Corps is
It's
still
not.
the Marine Corps, but
Yeah,
the generation of Marines that we have on today's world, it's totally different. I
yeah,
mean,
it's different.
you
It's
can't
different.
really
Oh, really.
compare. You can put the shittiest Marine 20 years ago versus versus right
Shitbird.
versus a brand new
Shitbird.
recruit on today's generation, and that guy will outshine him any day. But it's nothing on the Marine Corps. It's just
Oh yeah,
that
no,
the
definitely.
generation. We're in a
And,
different. You were in a
no,
different. Yeah.
it's just a
I mean, but
generation.
it
It's the
is what it
kids
is. I
coming
mean,
in.
at the end of the day, we're
No, no,
Marines. You know, these guys.
but hey,
No matter what you do, you got to go through boot camp, and we can't take that away from them. You know.
well that brings me to a that brings me to something I want to bring up with you, and I'm gonna get to Ramadi and some other stuff. We're at an hour right now, so I don't know if you want to keep on going or,
Damn, it's been
but
an
it's up
hour
to you.
already.
But October 31st, you and I, it has, I know, you and I are going down to a. We're gonna go see a graduation.
Yeah, cool.
I'll pick you up and we'll go to a graduation on the 31st. I got a place to stay. We'll use my timeshare, no problem. You and I, we're going to a graduation. We're going to see this new generation. And I mean, I saw them graduate like this today, like online. And like a lot of the
It's
guys
crazy,
were out of
man.
step, and I'm like, oh
I
crap,
remember
oh shit,
I
that
used to hear
sucks.
cadence, and that shit used to give
But
me goosebumps.
oh, it gives me whenever I hear a good cadence, I feel it. I feel it here.
Dude,
I feel it here,
that
and I
is
feel
to
it in my
me like
stomach,
dude.
like a good
I be
cadence.
sometimes I'm washing my car, dude. That
Dude, I used to when I get after I got out, I used to run to cadence. Like I would get it
yeah,
on my
yeah,
like
yeah.
iPod. Remember we had iPads back then? I used to listen to cadence on my iPod
Still do,
after
man. I
2008
still
when I
do.
got out. But
I mean, but it's a different
I know,
generation,
and
brother.
and
I
I
mean, our journey can go
it is,
on and on, just like all of our brothers that serve with us that are within our generation.
yeah,
This is what makes this, this podcast what it is. We can share our
yeah. No,
stories.
no, I agree,
Final whole, just feel, dude. It's therapy.
and
Like
it's
literally, like
yeah, we
dude,
can get that mental health
you
that we
know,
need.
like
Yeah,
you mentioned this last week, but this time was your turn to do the talking, right? My turn to do the listening.
yeah,
And I heard you say, I feel like $1 million. And this is how I feel. This is how I feel
million
right now.
bucks.
Like literally,
When
man,
I tell yeah,
I'm like so
me too,
psyched. Normally in any other day, right now it's time for me to go to bed. But right now I'm so like
me too.
pumped, man. I can go to the gym for an
I'm
hour
pumped.
and bust out a good workout. Just thinking about just
I
thinking
might go to
about
the
you
YMCA.
listening to
Maybe
your
I don't know.
experience. I know you have so many more to tell, but you know,
Dude, I've got a lot, and
yeah.
I do. I have a lot, and like we did Ramadi, and then we did the Mew. Then after that, I mean, after that, I was a drunken mess. I have two
But those are
DUIs under
things
my
that
belt.
that's like the
Um,
aftermath,
I
right?
just
What we deal with, and that is something
that's
maybe
the
we can
aftermath.
share
Yeah, I
with.
mean,
I know
and
we have Tracy um, coming up. We're coming up on our podcast. Maybe
we
that's
do.
something we can do a three share of our because you've been through it, I've been through it. I'm sure he's probably experienced that in some way, maybe not the same way, you know.
Oh, dude, he
So
found some kind of happiness. He really did. Like when we talked to
yeah,
him, and then we could talk to Standridge. He's on this journey that is just amazing. Like we definitely need to get Brandon on, and this we need to go through
you know,
Lima, Kilo,
guys,
India,
you guys
weapons,
are
and
going
then
to
go to
be
two.
very amazed of what this group of individuals, including ourselves, are willing to just open up and tell you so you guys can hear it, learn about it, feel it, and maybe use it for your everyday life. I mean, the mistakes we made
Yeah,
after our life in the Marine Corps are not just your one off. They're mistakes that could have easily ruined our entire lives. And somewhere along the way,
you're no, you're right.
that guiding angel that said, you know what, my guy,
You find a
come this
purpose.
way. You're not gonna be that person. So, dude, I'm excited, man. Thank you, brother, for sharing your story
No, you're
tonight.
dude.
I'm
No,
looking
thank you.
forward to many.
And you only got half the story, which is fine. Which is fine because it's not about me. It's about getting. It's about talking with other people. It's about camaraderie. It's about this platform, which you were just talking about, and how good it makes us veterans feel when we talk to each other, when we're on the same page, when we're in the same AO, when we served in the same dirt, when we fire the same weapons, smelled the COP, smelled that powder burn. It, it's just I love it, and Henry, thank you for coming
Yeah, man. No,
along
I want to thank you,
on
brother.
this journey with me,
This
man.
is gonna be amazing, man. I can't wait to keep going with the rest of the veterans, our brothers, and for anyone out there that's listening, you don't need it, if you fighting against a traumatic event. You don't have to be in the military to experience that. If you feel that the Sandman Pyle Show is a place that you can come and talk to us, please do. We're here for you. We want to listen to you, and we want to guide you
We're
to
here
so
for you.
you guys don't make the same mistakes that we made whenever we were in those situations. So please, guys. Again, thank you, brother. Appreciate your
That's right.
time tonight. It was great. So,
Hey, thanks. Thank you, Sandman. See you guys next week.
thank you again. Like I said.